In economics, we have to make the distinction between changes in quantity supplied versus changes in supply. When we first started out talking about supply, we found out that the supply curve was upward sloping. And we found that out because as price goes up, a seller will be willing and able to sell more because profit motivation goes up. And so therefore, if we start out with a low price of P naught, profit is relatively low, quantity supplied, what the seller would be willing and able to sell, is relatively low. But, ceteris paribus, if you increase the price, let's say up to P1, then we move up and along the supply curve, and therefore the quantity supplied increases. So when we say there has been a change in the quantity supplied, we mean there has been a movement along a given supply curve due to a change in price. Now, we know there are other things other than price that is going to go in and affect the seller's behavior. So we are going to go in and talk about changes in supply. And what that means is we are going to have a shift of the entire supply curve due to something other than price. And the important part about this is it's due to something other than price. So a change in price will never, for a good, will never shift its own supply curve. So the idea is if we go in and we have an initial supply curve, and from now on we're going to have to go in and always put a subscript on our supply curve, call it S naught, because this 0 right here denotes our time period. Time period 0 is our initial time period 1 is the next time period 2, and so on and so forth. If I make the statement that supply has increased, or another way of saying that there has been an increase in supply, then that implies that the entire supply curve has had a shift to the right. So in your model, you would go in and take your entire supply curve and shift it parallel out and to the right. So that's an increase in supply. If, on the other hand, again, we're starting with S naught, I tell you that something in the market has changed and supply has decreased. So in your model, what that means is the entire supply curve has had a shift to the left. So in your model, you would go in and take your supply curve and you would shift it parallel back and to the left. So that would be a decrease in supply.